30 cents a mile. That's Elon Musk's long-term target for a Tesla Robotaxi ride. No car payment, no insurance, no gas, just 30 cents a mile, and you're done with all of it. But here's the problem. That's not what you're actually paying today. Not even close. So is this real, or is it another promise that's still years away? By the end of this video, you'll have the honest answer with the actual numbers, not the pitch. The car payment that never stops. Picture yourself standing in your driveway. You're looking at the car you make payments on every single month. And for a second, just add up what that thing actually costs you. The average new car payment sits at around $748 a month, according to Experian's Q3 2025 data. Add full coverage insurance, which averages $186 a month nationally. Then fuel, maintenance, registration, depreciation, which is the cost most people never notice because it's silent. AAA's latest Your Driving Cost study puts total annual new car ownership at around $11,577. That's roughly $965 a month all in, for a vehicle that loses a chunk of its value the moment you drive it off the lot. And none of that is optional. As long as you own the car, you're paying, whether you drive it or not. Now, someone at Tesla is saying you could hand all of that back. Skip the car entirely. Just pay per mile whenever you need to go somewhere. That's the promise. But whether this replaces your car payment comes down to one thing. The number almost everyone gets wrong. And once you see it, the entire Robotaxi story looks different. The 30-cent promise. Here's how the Tesla Robotaxi actually works. As of mid-2026, you open an app, you enter your destination. A Tesla shows up with no driver behind the wheel. You get in, it takes you where you're going, and you pay when you're done. No tipping, no conversation if you don't want one. No waiting for a human driver to accept your request. The idea is simple. Tesla operates a fleet of autonomous vehicles, charges you per mile, and keeps the system running without the overhead of paying drivers. No human labor in the cost structure means prices that traditional rideshare companies structurally can't match. The long-term vision Musk has described is $0.30 per mile. At that price, somebody driving 1,000 miles a month would spend $300. Compare that to the $965 monthly average for owning a car, and you see why people are paying attention. But let's be very clear about something. That 30-cent number is a long-term target. It's not today's price. Today, if you're in Austin, Texas, where the service operates, you're paying a $3 base fare plus $1.40 per mile. A 5-mile trip runs about $10. A 10-mile trip is around $17. That's still cheaper than Uber on most routes, but it's not 30 cents a mile. So the real question isn't whether the vision is interesting. It is. The question is whether the math works right now and where this is actually heading. That's what we're going to find out. A week without owning a car. Walk through a typical week with me. No car, just the Robotaxi. Monday morning, you need to get to work. It's 8 miles from your house. You open the app, request a ride. The car shows up in about 12 to 15 minutes, which is the current average wait time in Austin. The trip costs you around $14. You sit in the back, drink your coffee, and answer emails. You arrive at work, and you didn't think about parking once. Wednesday, you need groceries. 3-mile trip to the store. About $7.20. You load up your bags, and the car is waiting 3 miles back. Another $7.20. Call it $15 round trip for a grocery run. Saturday, you're headed to the airport. 12 miles. That's around $19.80. No parking fee on the other end. No shuttle. No circling the lot. Now, here's the scenario that actually sells this to people in their 50s and 60s. Picture this. It's late. You're out to dinner with your spouse. You had a couple of drinks. In the old world, you'd be calculating whether it's safe to drive, calling a cab, waiting. With the Robotaxi, you pull out your phone, the car shows up, and you're home. No negotiation, no surge pricing roulette. The car just takes you there. That convenience matters, and it's real today, not just in a pitch deck. But before you start calculating the savings, there's a problem. Most people talking about Robotaxi leave out where it actually works, what it really costs today, and the issues Tesla is still trying to solve. And those details change everything. The reality behind the Robotaxi. This is where the story separates into two versions. The version in the headlines, and the version you'd experience if you opened the app today. Let's start with the second one. Tesla's Robotaxi service launched in Austin in June 2025. As of mid-2026, the Austin service has expanded to cover the full metro area, but the fleet is small. We're talking about a deliberately small fleet, measured in the tens of vehicles rather than hundreds or thousands. Tesla is expanding carefully, but this is still a staged rollout, not a mass deployment. Dallas and Houston launched in April 2026, also unsupervised, also with intentionally small initial fleets as Tesla expanded market by market. Growth is happening, but it's measured. The Bay Area still operates with safety drivers because California regulations currently require them. Collectively, Tesla's Robotaxi network has already logged nearly 700,000 paid driverless miles, giving the company a growing pool of real-world operating data. On the hardware side, Tesla's purpose-built Cybercab, the two-seat driverless vehicle with no steering wheel or pedals, began production at Giga, Texas in April 2026 and is targeted at under $30,000. Volume production scaling is what will eventually allow fleet expansion at a lower cost. Now, the incidents, because they're real and they matter. Since launch, there have been documented cases of phantom braking, wrong lane positioning, and awkward drop-offs where the vehicle stops short of the intended destination. NHTSA has been watching closely. Tesla has pushed updates to address these, but anyone who tells you this technology is perfect right now is selling you something. Compare that to Waymo, which has been running driverless commercial rides since 2020. Waymo currently operates around 3,000 vehicles, completing roughly 500,000 rides a week. Their average wait time is under 6 minutes. Tesla is 12 to 15. In economics, Tesla has a different advantage. Morgan Stanley estimates it costs Tesla about $0.81 per mile to operate a Robotaxi, compared with roughly $1.36 to $1.43 for Waymo. That's Tesla's operating cost, not the fare riders pay. But it helps explain why Tesla believes it can keep lowering prices over time, and why the long-term math could eventually tilt in its favor. So here's the honest picture. Tesla is cheaper than Waymo for riders today, but Waymo is larger, more mature, and generally faster to arrive. Tesla is growing quickly, but coverage is still limited. Which brings us back to the question from the beginning. Can this actually replace a car payment? Because the answer isn't what the headline suggests. Does the math actually work? Go back to that person in their driveway. Staring at the car they pay $748 a month for. Here are two honest scenarios. Scenario 1. Low-mileage city driver. You drive around 600 miles a month, mostly short trips. At today's real Austin pricing, you're paying a $3 base fare plus about $1.40 per mile. A typical 8-mile ride costs around $14. Spread 600 miles across rides like that, roughly 75 trips a month, and you're looking at somewhere around $1,000 to $1,100 in monthly Robotaxi costs. Compare that to the roughly $965 a month it costs to own and operate the average new car. Suddenly, the savings mostly disappear. For many city drivers today, It's close to break even. That's the honest answer. The longer your trips are, the better Robotaxi starts to look, because the base fare gets spread across more miles. But if you're expecting massive savings today, the current math doesn't support that yet. But let's be precise. This only works if you actually live somewhere the Robotaxi operates. You can handle a 15-minute wait, and your trip patterns fit the current geofenced zones. Scenario 2. High-mileage commuter, or someone in a suburban or rural area with no service. If you drive 1,500 miles a month, and the Robotaxi isn't available in your city yet, this conversation is theoretical. You still need the car. The math doesn't work for you today. Here's the 20-year picture for the city driver. 20 years of car ownership at $965 a month is $231,600. That includes payments, insurance, maintenance, fuel, and depreciation across multiple vehicles. 20 years of Robotaxi use at today's pricing comes out much closer to the cost of ownership than many people expect. The advantage isn't necessarily massive savings right now. It's avoiding insurance increases, repair bills, depreciation, and the fixed costs that keep showing up whether you drive or not. And if Robotaxi prices keep falling over time, that equation starts to shift. What doesn't change is this. If you own a car, every rate increase from your insurer, every repair bill, every price spike at the gas station, that's your problem. If you don't own one, it isn't. How close are we really? As of mid-2026, the Tesla Robotaxi operates in Austin, Dallas, and Houston, with fully unsupervised rides in Texas. Tesla targeted 7 to 8 cities for expansion during the first half of 2026. So far, Austin, Dallas, and Houston are live. Phoenix, Miami, Orlando, Tampa, and Las Vegas remain targeted markets pending approvals and rollout timelines. That's an important distinction. Targeted doesn't mean guaranteed. Tesla has a long history of aggressive timelines, and this rollout has moved more slowly than some early projections suggested. Those are targets, not guarantees. Tesla has a track record of optimistic timelines. Musk said in mid-2025 that autonomous service could reach half the USA population by the end of that year. That didn't happen. What has happened is steady progress. Austin metro coverage expanded, Dallas and Houston launched, and Cybercab production started. Morgan Stanley projects Tesla could have 1,000 Robotaxi vehicles operating by the end of 2026 and 1 million by 2035. Those are analyst projections, not Tesla commitments. If you live in one of the target cities, you may have service by the end of this year. If you don't, this is still something to watch rather than act on. 3 things worth holding on to. First, Tesla Robotaxi is real, it works today, and it's genuinely cheaper than Uber and Waymo in the cities where it operates. The 30-cent a mile target is Elon Musk's long-term vision. Today's real fare is closer to a $3 base charge, plus about $1.40 per mile, depending on the trip. Second, the math works for low-mileage city drivers in covered markets. It doesn't yet work for everyone. Coverage is small, fleets are small, and wait times need to come down before this competes with car ownership on convenience. Third, the 30-cent a mile promise isn't today's reality. It's the destination. The real question is whether Tesla can keep pushing prices down while expanding coverage. If they can, the economics become very hard to ignore. Go back to that person in the driveway, looking at a car that costs close to $1,000 a month. The question isn't whether 30 cents a mile is real today. It isn't. The question is whether that's where transportation is heading. And for the first time, that no longer feels hypothetical. That answer is different for everybody. But now you have the real numbers. And that's exactly what most Robotaxi discussions leave out. If this gave you a clear, honest look at whether Tesla Robotaxi can actually replace your car payment, hit like and subscribe. No exaggeration here, just the facts, so you can decide for yourself. Next up, we're looking at whether the Tesla Powerwall is actually free for seniors. The numbers on that one are worth knowing.